Hey everyone, happy Monday morning. This is Porcelain Picks, and I'm your host, Andrew Fabian, bringing you Week 5 edition of Porcelain Audit. All right, you'll notice I'm wearing a green shirt this morning, green for money. Porcelain Picks goes 12-4 on the Week 5 slate, so you're welcome if you followed our picks there. That brings us to 45-27 on the season. Not a bad record if you're not subscribing to the YouTube channel yet. Drop a subscribe, follow us all season long. We'll continue to bring you the locks you need as you scroll atop the porcelain throne. All right, so this is the point in the week where we're going to look back and audit the week. We are going to be accountable to you, our viewers. We're going to go through the wins and the losses and pose to do better next week. Okay, so let's get started. We have the Thursday night win with Tulsa -3 over Temple. That was an easy win. Joey Mack with that pick on Thursday night. We already touched on that. So the Friday night games, Utah Utes playing against the Oregon State Beavers. We did say under 44.5 on this game. That was an easy win yet again as the Beavs took care of business there against the Utah Utes. So lock it, flush it. That's 2-0. Let's jump over to the Big 12 game on Friday night. We had Cincinnati, BYU, the over 49.5. This was another Joey Mack lock of the week. This one hit easily, the over 49.5. That brought us to 3-0, headed into the Saturday slate. Okay, so the noon kickoff game, we had Texas A&M at Arkansas. I had told you that Texas A&M just has better position players on the outside. Evan Stewart was going to have a big day. Ultimately, this was a close game to start, but A&M had no trouble with that -6 spread at Arkansas. The Aggies took this one easily against Arkansas, so that moved us to 4-0. All right, USC, Colorado, the big noon kickoff. USC playing host to Colorado. They jumped out to a big lead. I had told you USC wasn't going to have much trouble with that -22 spread. I was dead wrong. Coach Prime and the Buffs do bounce back. Shedeur Sanders, fun to watch this kid play. He's a really good athlete, just throwing the football with poise. He keeps plays alive, and I think he is a huge player to watch the next couple of years, Shedeur Sanders. This guy is just a great quarterback. So congrats to Coach Prime and the Buffs for keeping this one close. USC did pull out the victory by 7, but Colorado showed up to play in front of their home fans. So this was the first loss of the day. All right, let's move over to the SEC matchup. We had Kentucky playing host to Florida. I told you Kentucky was going to come out. Hadn't faced a lot of competition. Toilet paper soft so far this year. Kentucky comes out. They end up winning this game with ease against Florida. That -1 spread was left in the dust. So we were right on that, lock it and flush it. But I did say the under was going to hit. Under was set at 43.5. I thought this would be a sluggish Kentucky victory, but the over hit in this game. So that was a loss on this game. It went over, but we got that -1 correct for you. All right, let's move on. We had Texas playing host to Kansas. Kansas, undefeated. They came in. Their quarterback, unfortunately, injured. So I told you Jalen Daniels, really good dual threat quarterback for the Kansas Jayhawks. I took Texas -16. I thought Texas was going to railroad Kansas in this game. This spread was only that close because Kansas was undefeated headed in. Texas had no trouble. After the close start, they blew Kansas out. I do think Texas is for real. I think they're a top 2 team in the country. So keep your eyes on the Longhorns. We hope Jalen Daniels is okay for Kansas, but we'll likely be picking these teams a couple times here in the future. Keep your eyes on the Red River Shootout coming up next week. All right, let's go to the night game. So we had LSU at Ole Miss. LSU is a team I really like this year. I like their firepower offense. Their terrible defense makes for high-scoring games. Ole Miss is the same way. They can put points on the board with Jackson Dart at the helmet quarterback, but their defense is also atrocious. This was a really fun game to watch. Ultimately, it was back and forth. Ole Miss pulled out the victory. They won, stormed the field again, which is kind of a joke, being that you're playing against a team that's kind of similar playing field with you. This wasn't a world beater game against a top 5 opponent, but nevertheless, Ole Miss, congrats on winning and giving us the L on this game. I had LSU -2.5, so sorry about that. I thought this would be a track meet as it was. Again, 2 just abysmal defenses. This is like one of those old Big 12 matchups where the offenses are great and they just match up really in a way that's good for viewers. So let's move on after that loss. We had Tennessee playing host to South Carolina. This was a revenge game against Spencer Rattler. I told you, take Tennessee -12. This was going to be an easy one, and it was. The Vols easily win in front of their home crowd. They make amends for that loss against Spencer Rattler last year, and then ultimately they get the icing on the cake. Spencer Rattler, this guy's always been a head case. That's why he's there at South Carolina now and no longer at Oklahoma. He goes crying after the game about this being Tennessee's Super Bowl. Spencer Radler, just go take a hike, man. Just take the loss on the chin. You guys got beat by a better team. You're not as good as you think you are, kid. So let's just shut our mouths and move on with our day. All right, let's go on to Notre Dame at Duke. This game was one of the most entertaining games I've ever seen, I think. My family are big Notre Dame fans. I cheer for Notre Dame. But Notre Dame, I took -5.5. I thought the Irish would bounce back against Duke. I thought they would be outmatched with their wide receivers against Duke's secondary. I did also take the under 52.5. We got lucky yet again in this game. We've been lucky a couple weeks in the past, but Notre Dame pulling this one out. They actually, Sam Hartman on that 4th and forever, running for the first down on Duke. Duke with just terrible play calling there. If they just played the same defense, Notre Dame's offensive line couldn't stop them on the beginning of that drive to get it to 4th and 17. But they chose to drop back and just give a wide open field to a real warrior in Sam Hartman, and he ran for that first down. The rest is history. Notre Dame scores the touchdown with Estime, and then they go for 2. We almost lost the spread. If they missed the 2-point conversion, it would have been a 5-point win, and we would have lost the spread. But luckily, the Irish got it. -5.5 hits, under 52.5 hits. Lock it. Flush it. All right. So the other games we had the West Virginia TCU night game. We said under 52.5. This one got out to a fast start in the first half. I think it was 21-14 at halftime. But ultimately, West Virginia comes back and they're victorious over TCU. So congrats to the Mountaineers here. And congrats to us and the followers for getting that under 52.5. Lock it. Flush it. All right. Bama, let's go. Coach Saban got his boys back on track. Bama was a -15.5 point favorite at Mississippi State. So we told you, take Bama -15.5 and take the over 46.5. The over hit in the third quarter. That was never in doubt. And Bama pulls away late for that victory, -15.5. So lock it, flush it on both of those. Porcelain Picks goes 12-4 on week 5. If you followed, you're welcome. If you're not following yet, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check us out on Twitter at the Porcelain Picks. And drop us a follow on there, all right? We are here to bring you the locks you need as you scroll atop the Porcelain Throne. It's Monday morning, big week ahead. A lot of analysis coming up for week 6. Lock it, flush it. Have a great week, everyone. Happy college football.